Like, life was no longer fun for me. Get out of my face! Get out!
They usually go into post dates.
They came in with the bombshell. I don't even know how I escaped being depressed.
They had to press on the emergency buzzer. She can dilate 6 cm within 1 or 2 hours.
You have crossed 7 seas and 7 rivers. He said, "Oh no, at the chop at the clean mouth." Why would I put it? My voice.
The song.
Is it my voice?
Not the voice.
That they were gonna either terminate the pregnancy. By that 4 o'clock, I was already asking the nurse for the epidural.
After she now called me, she told me that she was feeling a very sharp pain in the left side of her chest. And all
very
that.
Painful.
Very, very painful. Worse when she takes a deep breath or when she lies on that side. At that point, I put 2 and 2 together. I said, I'm going to book a taxi that will take you to A&E immediately. I think you've got clots in the lungs. She said, how would you know? I said, yes. Because the other time we went to the hospital, you know, your urine was dark, you were dehydrated, and you had some ketones. And you have not improved even with the anti-sickness. She kept vomiting and all that.
Even take it.
So I said, look, I think you've got PE. You need to get, to the hospital
like
to be checked out.
Immediately. I said, oh God, why are you scaring me? Like, what is immediately? I can go later. He said, get up from the bed immediately. So because of the way he sounded, I knew it was an emergency. I needed to rush. So I rushed to the hospital. And to be honest, they responded almost immediately, put me in the emergency assessment unit. So there, the doctor even told me that they're suspecting PE, but they needed to do further tests. So there and then they started giving me blood thinner. And God, I couldn't even I was screaming, I was shouting. I mean, people
in
knew
pain, yeah.
I thought I was gonna die, to be honest. I thought I wasn't gonna make it because I couldn't breathe. I couldn't hold one breath. God. So fast forward to when they concluded, when they did some x-ray. I think they rolled me in for x-ray. Then they came back and they suspected. I don't know what they saw, but according to them, it wasn't so clear.
I think they had to take you to
they had to take me to another hospital
to do a VQ scan.
A VQ scan, which came back. But then, before the VQ scan, they concluded they were not going to let me go because I would even let me go. I'll tell you to stay there and then they kill me at once. So they concluded that I needed emergency care. So they took me straight to the ward. Everybody in that ward knew me that night because I was screaming. I was, what's the name of all those pain medication they give?
I think they were giving you some paracetamol and codeine or
codeine.
Something.
Yeah. When they gave me codeine was not doing anything. The only thing codeine did to me was they put it in my hand. They gave me through the...
No, codeine is tablets.
It's
morphine.
So, something they gave me.
IV morphine.
Yes. They gave me IV
and they were
morphine.
giving you, but what worked more for you was the IV paracetamol.
Wait now, they gave me morphine, right? That morphine, first of all, made me high. In fact, I started confessing to the nurse. I was telling the nurse, you know what? Please tell my husband I love him. I couldn't make it. I can't take this anymore. Because I thought I was passing out. Like, it was just, because I don't take alcohol, right? So, I feel like my brain is just too light for all this, what do you call it? All these things So the morphine
and opioid drugs.
So the morphine was just doing me, you're leaving this world, you are traveling and all the stuff. So after the morphine, the pain was not even going. Even after everything, it wasn't good. I couldn't sleep that night. So they administered paracetamol IV injection. That was what really calmed me down for a while. That was when I was able to sleep. But then I couldn't stay. And the problem is that the pain was inside, such that it's not even about how you lie down. It was always radiating and comes with every breath. I think I stayed for almost 5 days in the hospital.
I think you stayed about 5 to 7 days.
Yeah, I was there in the hospital till you came back.
Till I came back.
So he came back. I think came to the hospital.
You were there about 5
to 7 days or so.
5 to 7 days.
Yes. So he came back, and then I was.
And it was the second day that I came back that you were discharged.
Yes. While I was in the ward, they came and said they needed to run a scan of the baby because they needed to ascertain the size of the clot. If the clot was too much, that either needed surgery or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
That they were gonna either terminate the pregnancy or what. So they just needed to be sure that the baby was still viable. So they took me for a scan. In fact, while they were taking me, I told the nurse, see this baby. If only you know what I went through to make this baby stay. I am not terminating. Don't even think about it. The nurse was just telling me, don't worry, you're not gonna get to that stage. It's okay. We just want to check that. I said, I know what I'm saying because it's see,
And
nobody's
by
gonna.
then, by then, has it been confirmed that it was a baby girl?
No, no,
No,
no,
no, no,
no.
yeah.
But my faith was so strong that I think you just know when it is. Like I just said, you see this pregnancy, nobody's gonna come between me and this pregnancy. I'd rather lose my life. The baby was viable, so I was like, I was just waiting for them to come back with any other news or whatever. The VQ scan they told me was a bit of a risk, some percentage. I can't even remember.
But it was far safer than the CTP.
Yeah, so okay,
Alright.
yeah, it was safer for me as a pregnant person, but
Yeah.
they told me that there was a little bit of risk, which was
Is
a very
what they
small
tell
percentage.
everyone.
Okay,
There's
so
risk with every
scan,
radiological scan, whether
radiological
chest
scan,
X-ray,
because of
CT scan,
exposing
MRI
the
scan,
baby
and
to
VQ scan. But
yeah
what matters is which one has less risk and
less
all that.
risk.
Yeah.
Okay,
So for her, I think they said it was VQ scan, and they had to move her to another hospital
hospital to have
to
it
have the
done.
VQ scan done.
Okay, so a day before I was discharged, the doctors they came to me and told me, it has been confirmed that you have pulmonary what's the word? Pulmonary embolism. Do you want to tell them what pulmonary embolism is?
Simply clots in the lungs.
Okay,
That's just it.
and the causes, what could have caused mine?
A lot of causes.
No,
Okay,
I
but
know.
first
Just
of
let's
all,
focus on my own situation.
well, for you, what caused yours was dehydration and
Dehydration,
immobility.
immobility. Yeah. So
Yeah.
because I was always on the bed, I was very immobile, completely immobile, just from the bed to the toilet. So I was completely immobile, and then I was dehydrated.
Yeah.
So that's what
Dehydration from the
and
hyperemesis.
yeah, from the hyperemesis. And they said that pregnancy is also a predisposing
Yeah,
factor.
pregnancy is a risk factor.
Is a risk factor. Oh,
Yeah.
these medical terms I struggle a lot. So pregnancy is also a risk factor. So yeah, that's what really exposed me to it. It was confirmed a day before I was discharged. The most heartbreaking news came in when they came back again. You know, when you're in the ward, there's how these doctors will come. They'll come and say, "Oh, we just got your scan, and we can confirm to you that you have pulmonary embolism. Not to worry. We're gonna take good care of you. And then they'll be like, so doctor or another doctor is gonna come walk you through what you're supposed to do and how you can live with it. It's nothing to worry about, okay?" And then they came in with the bombshell, and the bombshell was, you have to be on this injection for the rest of your pregnancy. Mind you, I was just
You were just 2
barely
months.
2 months gone. So it means for the next 7
For
months
the rest of your pregnancy
and
and
6 weeks after
your
hey
pregnancy.
Bamio, where am I supposed to be injecting? And then that was not even it. The worst part was that I was supposed to inject myself. Hey God.
And it was not once a day. Because
Morning and night.
they said the clot was
Quite
huge.
sizable.
She was injecting herself morning and night. Normally it should be once a day, but because hers was quite huge, they decided they would be giving her morning and night.
First of all, I was in shock because in my head, how am I supposed to be injecting myself? Like, inject myself? Even there's no part of my body that seemed possible that I would inject myself. I first of all asked the doctor how. She said, "Oh, if you can't do it, don't worry. We can be sending in a nurse to be coming to inject you." I said, "Who wants to go through that straight every morning? A nurse come and knock on the door. Go, go, go. I came to give you an injection." Oh my goodness. So they said usually they always teach people how to inject, do the injecting yourself, and then because it's gonna run for a longer time. So that's gonna be easier for me to do it than having someone come in to do it. And that I needed to learn, like I needed to practice with the morning medication because the nurse had not given me the morning injection. That's a blood thinner. They had not even administered it at that time, so I needed to try to do it on myself that morning. They brought it. This is how I was just doing. This is how I was doing. I think first of all, it was on my stomach, right? Because my stomach
Yeah,
was still my stomach was
usually
still
on the
very
stomach.
a bit flat. 2 months, I wasn't much, and I had flat stomach before then. So
It's easier on the stomach.
yeah, so I was supposed to be injecting myself on the stomach. So the nurse came with everything. I was like, you need to try to, see how you can administer yourself because we want to make sure that you can do it before we discharge you. I said in my head, I said, you are going to keep me here for the next 1 week because I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. What? Am I on drug or something? we did all we needed to do. The nurse saw that I wasn't making any headway. She went, and I don't know. I knew she knew that this it was not time to discharge me yet because I needed to keep trying. They came again in the evening, and then the next morning. So it was the next morning. I had to talk to myself because I spoke with my husband. I said, "Look, oh, how am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to do this?" My husband laughed. I said, "Baby, that's where it has come to, and you have to do it. Do you prefer they come to the house and be giving you?" I said, "No, at that point, sef, even the nurse coming to inject me was already frustrating." So I talked to myself that night. I said, "Okay, breathe, breathe, breathe. You have to learn." The next morning I tried it, and then there was joy in heaven because there was joy in heaven when I succeeded with that one. Then the nurse now said, "It's time for you to go. I think you can do it. I'm just gonna talk to the doctor and tell the doctor you succeeded in doing one this morning." "Oh, well done. I could give you a sticker, you know." I said, Stick in it. Baggy boots." Anyways, so I succeeded in doing that morning, and then afterwards I was discharged. You guys, that is how I lived with this injection morning and night. And where the frustration stepped in was when my stomach became big. I think there was a day I told my husband that I think I was recording myself injecting myself because I was crying. So when my stomach became big, the challenge was now, how do I inject? So in my head I was like, my stomach is big. Is this needle not going to touch the baby? Initially, it wasn't so painful, but afterwards, I think because I had injected every part of my stomach, it started becoming very painful. So imagine, because you inject in the morning, inject in the night, inject in the morning, inject in the night. So I wasn't looking forward to day breaking again. Like I was almost like, I don't even know how I escaped being depressed, but I was always crying.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, life was no longer fun for me. Sometimes my husband will come around. When he comes back, the week he's gonna be around, he will now, when he sees the way I feel, he will be like, "Baby, okay, let me help you." I'll just say, "Get out of my face! Get out! Leave me alone!" You say, "I'm just trying to help." I said, "Please, can just leave me. I just really want to carry on this while." Anyway, this continued till I think few months, 20 weeks. I had an appointment to come for, what do you call that scan? 20 weeks scan.
Anomaly scan.
Anomaly scan.
And
And then you can get to know the sex of your baby as
sex
well,
of the
if you
baby
want.
and to see if the baby was developing well.
Developing
They,
well.
they had already told her if they found out after the scan that the baby was not developing well, the only option was to terminate.
Yeah, so I was supposed to go for that. And so, because to me, the pregnancy had become a very, very delicate pregnancy because I was going through a lot mentally and otherwise, physically, self, everywhere. Because the hyperemesis didn't stop immediately. And I was always going in and out of hospital admissions because whenever I couldn't keep fluid, they would tell me to come in, they will keep me there, inject fluids, and then I go back. So it was almost like when I come into the hospital, we're like, you don't come again, those kind of things. So I was always going in and out. That's how I was managing the hyperemesis that afterwards, because I needed to stay hydrated. Fast forward to when I was supposed to go for the anomaly scan, I knew that was a point I could get to know the sex of my baby. So I was a bit anxious. It's something we have worked so hard, you guys. You can imagine how hard we had worked to get to that stage. And then my husband wasn't around as usual. He was at work. It was me and my sister, because she too was pregnant. But my scan was, I had my scan before hers. We're like 1 week apart or something. So I had my scan before her. So she was there with me. So we went in, and then the radiologist did what she wanted to do and everything. She now said, "Do you want to know the sex?" Oh God, my heart was beating. And she said, "Oh, I could tell you for sure that she's..." When she said she, I said, wait, she's a baby girl. She's a girl for sure. She sounded like she knew, like this was concluded. I've seen it. I looked at my sister. My sister, she could feel my jaw. I wanted to jump up from that. I said, "What? And that's what you wanted to mess around with, because of PE. You don't go work." God, I think that day kind of lessened all the pregnancy pain I was going through. That day was like a new chapter in the whole pregnancy journey, because I knew that I still had long days ahead. I knew I had painful days ahead. I knew I had days I would just be injecting myself and crying and wishing I wasn't going through this whole stress. I knew my stomach was going to go bigger, which was going to even make the injecting even more difficult. But I was always looking forward to the day I was going to carry my beautiful girl. Oh my God, you guys, you can't even imagine my joy. Oh God. I came back and then I think we tricked you. Was it you we tricked? And lied that he's a baby boy.
Yeah, I think you tried to trick me or something
Yeah, I
like
called,
that.
I think because he was like, "Ah, tell me now." I said, the baby boy. You were very quiet for a while. Do you remember that incident?
Yeah, I was quiet. I was like, is that what they said? I was like, oh, well,
He said,
there's
if
no
it's
problem.
God's wish
If it's God
now.
wish, that's
I
fine.
could feel the
But
disappointment.
and I told her, but no more after this one. You see what you're going through? Are you ready to go through it again? No more. Whether this is a boy or a girl. If they tell you it's a boy, that's fine. It's a boy. We are closing the chapter. No more. And I'm like,
Anyways, I now told him, I'm lying, it's a baby girl.
yeah.
Oh my God, that's when I knew that this man. I said, now why I fear you? The way my husband screamed, I said, what? So you wanted this baby girl as much as I wanted, and you informed me, hey, no more, no more, no more, no more. Anyway, let's fast forward to when we had Kyra. All my pregnancies, I'm always induced. Like the pregnancy doesn't just progress on its own. The contraction
They usually go into post dates.
post date, and I'm always induced.
Yeah, you always
Yes.
induce. Membranes rupture, the labor starts, but it doesn't progress well.
Yeah.
So they usually augment
Yeah.
in all our deliveries, yeah.
Yeah.
In all our
So
labor, yeah.
they started my augmentation by 5 p.m. in the hospital that day. If you remember, was it 5 p.m.?
5 p.m. Yeah.
Yes. The whole thing, started little by little, 2 cm crawling, 2 cm, 2 cm. I mean, that night I was in pains, like cramps and all that. It got to 12, 1, 2, I was still in severe pain. That's always my case, like always so slow. But then the
Slow.
pains will be increasing.
Increasing, yeah.
Mad pains like this. And still to see I started feeling frustrated.
What happens is within the last 1 to 2
It's almost like
hours,
it's fasting.
is fasting. She can dilate 6 cm within 1 or 2 hours.
Yeah. So I think because my ideology of this dilation is that every hour you dilate 1 cm, every hour. That's what they always say. I don't know. I learned it from Nigeria. But I know that it's not really a practical thing. For me, I've experienced that it's not really that practical. I was always walking around the hospital somewhere until 3 a.m. I started having this push. Like, I needed to go to the toilet, right? So I went to the toilet the first time. I came back again. I think the nurse came and checked. I was like, still between 2, 3. I would say 3 cm. So it was just, 3 a.m. I was like, what's happening? Oh, God, I told my husband, this one, I'm finished. Then around 4:30.
Around 4:30 to 5. Yeah.
To 5. I was begging the nurse. I told the nurse, see, I know that I said I didn't want I think I was always saying that I don't want epidural. But I also told them that at some point, if I need it, I'll ask for it. And we all agreed that I'll ask for it, right?
Yeah.
By that 4 o'clock, I was already asking the nurse for the epidural. So they said because I was just between 2, 3 cm, I wasn't due to get into the delivery suite. And that is the only place they can administer the epidural. Because the pains were unbearable. Like I knew it was my threshold that exceeded my threshold. I was mad. Anyway, that was like the highest of the pain. I kept on begging the nurse. I said, please, is there any way, even if I'm not, like, can you not take me in there and just give this epidural because I can't endure this pain again? So I was just always calling them on and on and on. They said, okay, let them check if the delivery suite is free because they saw that I was desperately in need of it. So they went to check and then they came back and said, you know what? They let them roll me in there, right? So they rolled me in. I was feeling so much pressure and I was like, see, even as I was sitting on that wheelchair, I was telling the nurse that I'm not, like I feel like I'm sitting on something. I needed to get off. I need to use the toilet. They said, no, that I should just sit down, nothing. That, okay, you know what, that when I get to delivery suite, they'll take me to the toilet. So when we got into delivery suite, it was now a problem to climb the bed because the pressure was just too much. And in my head, I was still 2, 3 cm. So what's all this pressure? Do you understand? I was telling my husband, hey, that I know what I'm feeling. I know what I'm feeling. Do you know what? The moment they put me on the bed in the delivery suite, what happened? They saw the baby's head. Hey, God. The nurse said, what is this? It was a Nigerian nurse, if I remember very well. That beautiful lady. Yeah. She was like, what is this? Is this the head? Then they all started, oh my goodness. The baby is coming. The baby is coming. So all of them, because they were not prepared.
They didn't expect it because I think they had checked you
they just checked me an hour ago,
an hour ago,
I was just she said
No, three. I think
approximately
it
3
was three,
cm.
three,
Yeah.
4 cm. Yeah.
I wasn't up to 4 because if I was up to 4, they would have taken me to delivery suite. They said I have to be up to 4 cm to get
Before
into the delivery
delivery
suite.
suite.
So I wasn't up to. And then the nurse, they were all running. Oh my God. So wearing their thing and all that. So at that point, because they couldn't give me epidural, they were giving me oxygen.
Pentrox. Pentrox,
That
yeah.
thing they usually put in and you inhale.
Inhalation,
So it
inhalation.
was also
Pentrox,
making me
yeah.
high a bit. So it was just doing my head like, but at the same time, it was helping with the pains, not as much as I think epidural, because I've never had epidural. That was my only chance of having epidural. So they were giving me the stuff, and I was just holding it. I was just like, oh. So the nurses, they all got ready immediately because it was like an instant thing, right? And then the next thing, I think with just 4 or 5 pushes, Kara was out. Just 4 or 5 pushes. This thing happened. So if they didn't take me to the delivery suite at that time, it was as if it was God speaking through me, saying take her to the delivery suite. So if they didn't take me, it would have been. So immediately Kara came out. It was like all my burden, like all my stress was gone. Like oh my God, if you have given birth before, you understand what I'm saying. Especially for anyone that has been through a lot during the pregnancy, you just be like, so this is how it ends. While I pushed her out, there was an emergency. Kara was very floppy.
There was concern that she
There
was
was
floppy.
concern because she was floppy. She wasn't crying. Like she
Yeah.
wasn't crying the way she was supposed to. Like
Yeah.
she was floppy.
The cry was weak.
Very weak cry. So they were like, "Oh, call the pediatrician." I asked
So
the
they had to
nurse.
press on the emergency buzzer.
And usually, I think I had a little tear. So while the nurse was trying to switch off, I asked the nurse, "What's wrong with my baby?" And then the nurse said, "Don't worry, your baby's gonna be fine." But I saw the concerns on their face. They were all running up and down. I think they pressed the buzzer.
Yeah.
The pediatrician was there, and then they were trying to, do whatever they were doing on her. In my head, I said, "You people better care for this baby because you have crossed 7 seas and 7 rivers to get her."
Usually, what happens is when you get to delivery suit, at the time the pediatricians are alerted. So
Yes.
there's always a pediatrician at the time of delivery.
Yeah, but
what
because-
happened in your case was that by the time she got the delivery suit, the baby was always out.
Fast. It was so
So
fast.
the pediatrician were still busy with another
Patient.
when the delivery took place,
Yes.
and they now had to press the emergency buzzer.
For them
Yeah,
to come.
when they found out that
They needed their
Kyra
attention.
wasn't crying, her cry was very weak, and she was a little bit floppy. Thank God for the doctors; they were prompt. They did the best they could. Tana, that's Kyra for you.
We have Kyra. And then the next day we went home with our beautiful, beautiful baby girl. Ah, God. I can't even see her.
It's not that I don't love all my children. I love all my children and all that.
But you know that child that you have gone through a lot.
I think in all my children's delivery, I was always there, but not in the delivery suit.
Yeah.
So they usually give me the baby at the time of delivery. But in
Kyra's
case,
situation.
I was there in the delivery suit, and when she was delivered, they handed over the baby to me.
He caught the baby.
I caught the baby.
And you
all
caught
that.
the cord, is it?
Yeah,
You did
and
the
I caught the cord.
So
as
it was
well.
more like he was completely involved. And apart from that, see, I mean, for me, she's a precious baby. The baby I cry to God for. You guys, I cannot even begin to tell you how many nights I cry for this baby. So it's not like I love Kyra more than all my other children, but because in my head,
Then the
this
circumstances
is the
surrounding her
baby
birth,
I went through heaven and earth. Like I roamed the whole of this earth to acquire. Because she's all mine. She's all mine.
How is she all yours?
God came through because first of all, there were just so many hurdles on the way, and I was like, hey, not this one. I've always had a very smooth, apart from the hyperemesis, I've always had very smooth pregnancies, right? But this one came with all sort of temptations. My mental health was almost at risk, and I was like, so I feel like if you're going through any situation, be it looking for a baby girl, baby boy, and all that, hand it over to God in prayer. But as human beings, I always say this thing: God will not come down and do that miracle for you. You have to play your part. And how do you play your part? You will first of all trust God, because, like I said, there's no scientific thing that works without God's intervention. Trust God, and then do your research, because I'm gonna tell you, science also works. Do your research, but do it with faith and believe that God never fails. He might delay, but he will never deny you. God's delay, it's never God's denial. That song
I hope you're
always
not
in my
putting this
head.
song. I hope you're not putting this song in this
Why
thing.
would I put it? My voice.
The song,
Is it my voice?
not the
So
voice.
what is the problem?
Please continue.
God's delay is never God's denial. Me pain am there. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is to every you're tired.
Yeah, my legs are aching me.
This is how you would have sat down since. Anyways. My guy is tired already.
No, my legs. Because I was sitting on my. Don't worry. Go ahead. I'm fine.
For us, Kyra is an answered prayer. So for me, I think I actually started on the wrong foot by actually hoping for a particular sex just for the fantasy sake of it. If it's possible, go into marriage and just enjoy your marriage and hope and pray to God to let his will be done. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because you don't want to be going through every phase of pregnancy wishing, oh, I wish I have a boy, I wish I have a girl. What if? My case is that when I had Mona and Andre, we already had that discussion. I was like, I know myself, if I put my mind to something and it doesn't work, it affects me. I just told Hobby, look, I'm gonna go into this pregnancy. In as much as I've done everything I feel like I should have tried to see if I'm gonna get a baby girl. And the reason why I did this because I knew it was my last shot. I didn't want to go beyond 3 children. And we already agreed. Obi was already okay with 2 children. So I told myself that, look, if I go through this whole thing, try everything I can try and go into it, and it eventually becomes a baby boy, I'm going to accept and be happy with God's decision. I think at that point, like, my faith was still very strong. But I said that because I needed to keep telling myself that your plans might not be God's plans for you. Okay, you don't know why God has decided not to give you that baby boy or baby girl or whatever. So that's why I was trying to talk to myself. I was trying to let it register in my head that if it doesn't work, I'm not gonna be so disappointed. It didn't mean that I didn't want what I wanted or I didn't push for it, but also just reminding yourself that disappointment could happen. How do you handle it? You don't want to despise your child for something you know you didn't have control over, or it's not the child's fault or something. So that's just for any mother looking for a particular sex. We are all humans, so we always crave for something, or the other way around for different reasons.
The funny part of it is when we ask our children, "Do you want another kid brother or sister?" No. The boy said that Kyra is a handful. They don't want another little one running
Yes.
around the house. And Kyra says she doesn't want another baby brother. She's got 2 brothers enough for her. She doesn't want another baby girl. She doesn't want to share. She wants everything for herself.
And then she now said instead she wants a baby doll.
A baby doll.
See now, the one she can control, the one she can. Personally, I don't even want another baby.
I don't want, yeah.
Because I feel like with what happened to me with in Kyra's pregnancy,
Yeah.
I could be a high risk for that problem.
Yeah, it's not you could be.
I
You
am a
are.
high risk.
You are a high risk.
I'm a
yeah.
high risk because I always have that, hyperemesis. Of course, I can never. If it never went away with any of my pregnancies, it's not the fourth one now that will come and. So for those of you always asking, if I say I'm not feeling fine, Didi, don't chop belly. I no chop belly full anything. I no chop. I know they chop again. He said, "Oh no, the chop and the clean mouth." Sorry, I hope you enjoy doing this with me.
Yeah.
So which other one are we going to film next?
You're going to film how I'm doing my program. You're going to do that with me next time.
See, I'm telling you guys, I had to grab this man. I know that this London that we came to, this was a bit. He didn't know up to this. It was this morning I told you, isn't it?
Don't mind this.
He didn't know.
She was just blackmailing me. Remember, I said I was going to give you a treat. Remember, I said this. I said, if you don't do it with me, you have spoiled my day.
I brought this man to Lord. I said, don't worry, let me come and ease off.
She's always blackmailing me.
It's not blackmail, but it's true. Blackmail is when you're. I told you, come to London. I'll give you a treat. I'll pamper you because this man has been through a lot this past few months. He's ready for his GP exam, so it's a lot of stress for him. Working and reading. He'll come back from work and then he's on, rushing immediately for online group class and all those stuff. So he's been through a lot. I just wanted him to like ease off, change environment. Look at the way he slept like a baby last night. So that's why I'm like, at least now that we are relaxed, he's in a very relaxed mood. Let's just sit down and chat and talk and remember how we had Kyra. Just remember, that's all. Like, just remember how we had Kyra. That's all.
And we've been seated here for the past 1 hour 30 minutes.
No, it's 30 minutes.
To
It's
2
1
hours.
hour. It's 1 hour. It's 1 hour.
What do
it's
you
1
mean?
hour.
Look at it's almost 2 o'clock.
Okay, so
We started by
anyways,
around 12.
thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this story, this little story. Tell me the story you guys want to hear again. Maybe our relocation story, which I'm going to share sometime. Maybe when he becomes a GP. Maybe when he becomes a GP, we'll share that one. Because right now, this man is not thinking of any other thing apart from his exam. So I'm fine with it. I'm not going to bother him again till further notice. I promise.
Yes, please don't bother me till further notice.
So does it mean you don't like talking with or chatting with Didi's tribe? Say it now. Say it. Tell them.
I like chatting with Didi's tribe, but I don't like being held. I
Hostage.
don't like being held hostage in front of a screen.
He's
Okay.
a shy. Thank you for sitting down with me. I really appreciate you. And thank you for being patient with me and agreeing with me to have Kyra, because it took two to tango. And yeah, thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've had any stories or any experience having your kids, or if you are about to get married. Assuming you want to have children even after getting married, do you have any particular preference or anything in your head or whatever, or you feel, oh, I would like to have a baby girl first and baby boy first, you know, your reason and all that? Or if you have children, what was your experience? Like, share your experience with us in the comment section, and I'll be reading, and trust me, he'll be reading. Do you want to close the video for me?
No, you close the video yourself.
Please no.
No, close the video yourself.
Please don't forget to smash the like button. Say it now. Please don't forget to smash the like button. And
Subscribe and press on the notification bell so that you'll be one of the first to receive notifications whenever a new video is released.
can you beat that? That's pristine, baby. That's pristine. See you in our next video. Stay fabulous.
Fabulous.
Bye.